The week before, an election feels different. In Bangladesh, the air usually vibrates with the sound of mishil, convoys, slogans, and the raw energy of partisan friction. But this February, the atmosphere is heavy with something else. A silence that feels like the holding of a collective breath. Voices drop a little lower when the tea is served in the stalls of Karwan Bazaar. People talk in numbers. The 85 taka per kilogram price of onions, the 1,400 martyrs of July, and the 1,981 candidates on the ballot. For the first time since 2008, the outcome isn't written in a boardroom in New Delhi. We are a few days away from February 12, 2026. Sheikh Hasina is a ghost in the machine, living in exile. Her party, the Awami League, is suspended, stripped of its boat symbol and its voice. This is the first post-monsoon vote. It is a dual-track day. Citizens are voting for 1,981 candidates across 300 seats, but they are also voting on a national referendum, the July Charter, a document designed to lock reform into law before the winners can tear it up. In rural Sylhet, almost every household has a story that crosses an ocean. There is a son in Dubai, a husband in Jeddah, a sister in London. For decades, these expatriates were treated as the country's ATM, praised for the $32.8 billion in remittances sent home last year, but silenced when it came to their own rights. This year, the remittance warriors are an electorate. Over 772,542 expatriates have registered to cast postal ballots via the Postal Vote BD app. It is a digital bridge built on years of demands for absentee participation. Under Hasina, people here spoke carefully. They remembered the Digital Security Act and the local cadres who managed the land records. Even private complaints about price hikes were followed by a glance over the shoulder. Now the fear is thinner, but it has not vanished. They ask the same question in every tea stall. Will this election stop the flow of bodies coming home in sealed boxes from the desert? Rajshahi is a city where politics sits close to the surface. For 16 years, that surface was tightly managed. Today, the walls tell a different story. They are a cemetery of posters, BNP, Jamaat, and the newcomer, National Citizen Party, NCP. 18 months after the revolution, the July generation is facing its first major identity crisis. The paradox of pragmatism. The NCP, the political arm of the students who toppled a dynasty, has formed a like-minded 11-party alliance with Jamaat-e-Islami. On the campuses of Rajshahi University, students speak a new political vocabulary. They talk about the July Charter, about two-term limits, and a bicameral parliament. But they also argue about compromise. Some support the NCP and accuse its leadership of selling out. Others hold their nose and say a coalition is the only way to keep the Awami League's hybridized networks, the contractors and local strongmen, from crawling back into power through other parties. Behind every slogan, there is a demographic reality. The BNP is the undisputed titan of the field, fielding 288 candidates. Islami Andalan has 253. Jamaat has 224. What is missing is the most damning part. Despite the revolutionary talk of inclusion, the candidate list shows that the system is still a fortress for men. Out of nearly 2,000 candidates, only 63 women are among the valid nominees, barely 3.4%. Most of these women are credentials of grief, the widows or daughters of men killed or disappeared. They step into politics with pain as their ticket. The old patronage networks were faster to mobilize for the ballot than the reformist platforms. If you strip away the symbols, the demands of the common man are remarkably consistent. In a tea stall in Khulna, a man points at a news ticker showing $33.19 billion in gross reserves. The interim fixed the banks, he says, but they didn't fix the middleman at the vegetable market. Inflation in December 2025, 8.49%. Egg price, 145 taka per dozen, up 20 taka. Onion price, 85 tala per kilogram, up 25 taka. In the garment factories of Gazipur, the monsoon revolution is now being measured in purchasing power. Workers who stood at the front lines in July are now demanding a living wage. They do not want to see the same family names rotate while their own job prospects stay thin. This is the hazard that the world media is missing. February 12th is a dual-track event. While the parties fight for seats, the citizens are voting on the July National Charter. The referendum terms: bicameral parliament, a 100. Member upper house as a check. Term limits: no PM can serve more than 2 terms, 10 years. Judicial independence: a commission to stop the state from owning the courts. The BNP remains cautious. They prefer the system that has traditionally benefited large machines. Some in the interim government fear that if the BNP wins big, but the referendum fails, the country will have a new government with the same unchecked powers as Hasina. On the night before an election, the loudest sounds are the silences. The campaign songs stop. The loudspeakers are packed away under the cooling-off rules. In Sylhet, a man lies awake thinking about the postal ballot his brother cast from Malaysia. In Dhaka, someone sets an alarm and places their voter ID next to it. Under Sheikh Hasina, the mood was resignation. People knew the result was pre-written. Under Muhammad Yunus, the mood is complicated. There is hope, because this is the first real contest. But there is also caution. Tomorrow, numbers will appear on screens. Today, we stay with the feeling of a nation that has stepped out of fear, but has not yet stepped into certainty. This is the quiet edge of history. In the final chapter, we will follow the day itself. We will watch how this mood turns into cues, and finally a result that decides whether Bangladesh has built a system that can survive its winners.